What's on guys, we're back with a brand new video. In today's video we'll be going over the 2004 redraft. Now I did this redraft series over the off season and it was a very popular series over that time. I kind of stopped it for a bit when we kind of got hyped up for the season, but I decided why not bring it back for the regular season too. So we're going to be continuing on and doing the 2004 redraft. Now this is a little bit of a super draft, but one thing that you guys need to remember in this series is I'm only doing the actual pick guys picked and redrafting them that were actually drafted in the draft. So rookie drafts, preseason drafts, or stuff like that are not included in this redraft. It's only the people that actually got selected in the actual draft, and then I'm just putting it into a top 10. So without further ado, make sure to drop a like and a subscribe because we're on the road to 600 subscribers. So let's try to make that happen. Follow my socials linked in the description below, and let's get straight into it. Now, first up at pick 10, it is Ivan Maric. Sorry, very hard to say that name. Haven't said it in a while. He was a cult figure for Richmond over his time, and he was originally drafted to Adelaide actually at pick 40. Now he was alright at Adelaide, but his first year at Richmond ended up being the All-Australian ruckman in 2012, and that's when he became a cult figure. Grew out his big mullet, and was pretty much known for his goal kicking abilities as being a ruckman and a very mobile ruckman at times. But sadly, in 2017, he did end up retiring and did not get the opportunity to play in the flag that year because I think he had an injury or something and the name tank took over. But very good. He was a vice captain also for Richmond over his time, played 157 games, 80 of those being at Richmond and 77 of those being at Adelaide. Very good player. Next up at number 9 we do have Lyndon Dunn. Now he was originally taken at pick 15 and is more known as a Collingwood player than a Melbourne player in his career, but he ended up playing from 2005 to 2016, 165 games for Melbourne, switching as being a main fullback for them for a long part of his career. Before the later parts of his times at Melbourne, he actually turned into a defensive tagger as defensive forward, kind of like how Jarryd Roughhead did last year, and actually kicked 5 goals in the game, which is pretty funny if you remember that. But then I think he had the record for the most games played without playing in a final, so he thought, why not switch to Collingwood? He ended up getting traded to Collingwood at the end of 2016 and played there for a few years, doing 2 ACLs there though, and was remembered for his heroics in that Collingwood finals push and being very good fullback during that regular season in 2018. Before eventually doing his ACL and I think missing out in that final series, which is pretty sad. But very good, and great player and a very consistent fullback over his time in the league. Next up at number 8, I've gone with Angus McGlynn. He was originally pick 14 in this draft, originally getting drafted to Essendon with pick 14, and during that time he was a very good goal sneak for them, and then he ended up getting switched in 2013 to Port Adelaide, where he continued on his form and a very good player. But at his time at Essendon, he actually was a leading goal kicker in the 2010 season, and just a very good, consistent small forward over his time at both clubs, playing at 211 games and kicking 248 goals. Absolute star. Next up at number 7, I've gone with Ryan Griffen. Now he was originally pick 3 to the Western Bulldogs, ended up playing 202 games at the Western Bulldogs and kicking 130 goals as more of a half forward role and rolling to the midfield as a tall midfielder at 192 centimeters, and with a big generation of these tall midfielders coming up now. And then ended up at the end of 2014 deciding that he was going to join the new club in town, which was GWS. In 2015, ended up playing a very good player, consistent player in a half forward role, and helped build what GWS were trying to do to try to push for a flag. He ended up retiring in 2018, but during his career, he ended up being a 2-time best and fairest winner. He was also the Western Bulldogs captain in 2014, as well as being an All-Australian team member in the 2013 season. Very, very good player, Ryan Griffen. Next up at number 6, I've gone with Marc Lacroix. He was originally picked 37 to the West Coast Eagles, and during his time at the Eagles, he did play from 2005 to all the way to 2018 before retiring after the grand final win. During his time, he did kick 219. He did play 219 games while kicking 441 goals. Geez, a bit slip of the words there. He was only a one-time premiership player in 2018, missing out on a 2005 or 4 flag around that era. He's also a one-time All-Australian in the 2010 season, to go with a 2-time leading goal kicker, and was a very, very good player during his time at the Eagles, and never really switched from the Eagles, being a lifetimer there, and probably one of the best Eagles small forwards of all time. Next up is Brett Deledio at number 5. He was originally the number 1 pick inside this draft, and most known for his efforts during the horrible times of Richmond going through from the 2005 to 2016 period, before trying to win a flag and travel to Greater Western Sydney in 2017 to try to win a flag after being down the dumps at Richmond through the horrible times. But just Brett Deledio's luck, as soon as he left Richmond, they turned good and have won 3 out of the 4 last premierships, and Brett Deledio been involved in 2 losses in the prelim final in 2017 to the Richmond Tigers, and also the 2019 loss where he was watching on from the sidelines with a calf injury. And yeah, that's pretty much his life story at Greater Western Sydney. He just kept getting calf strains after calf strains, but like how Dan Hanbury's going through it now at St Kilda. So he did end up playing 243 games, barely getting injured at Richmond during that time, 182 goals, and being an absolute great player. At Greater Western Sydney, he kind of went to a half-forward wing, inside role, having to take, the step back from being the number 1 man like he was at Richmond, playing 32 games, kicking 15 goals, and a very, very good player. Now his time in the AFL, he was a 2-time All-Australian. He was the AFL Rising Star in 2005, and was a 2-time Best and Fairest winner. To go along with that, he actually was a Rice captain of Richmond from 2013 to 2016, and finished career as a Richmond Life member. Next up at number 4, I've gone with Travis Cloke. Now, he was originally picked 39 and is one of the best contested markers in the modern era, known for owning that glove on his hand to sometimes give him more grip, as we found out was used in some games, which was a bit controversial during his career. But during his career, he did play 256 games, 246 of them being at Collingwood. At Collingwood, he did also kick 441 goals before, at the end of 2016, he decided to go for a little flag chase and go to the Western Bulldogs for his last season of his career in 2017. While he did play 10 games and kick 11 goals and was a bit injury-ridden, which ended up sending him to the retirement home, retiring in 2017. Now, during his time in his career, he did also win a premiership at Collingwood in 2010, and also was a 2-time All-Australian in 2011 and 2013. He was a 1-time Best and Fairest winner and a 4-time leading goal kicker for Collingwood. A very, very good player. Next up at number 3 was Jordan Lewis. Now, he was originally picked 7 in this draft and was part of the Hawthorn core, which had originally take them to 4 premierships in 2008, 13, 14 and 15, which was pretty much all built off this draft, as we'll see in the next picks coming up. But during his career, he did play 319 games, kicking 161 goals in them games. Now, from 2005 to 2016, he did play them 264 games at Hawthorn and was part of all them premierships. But then in 2017, he decided to move to more of a leadership role, where kind of the core group of Hawthorn during the three-peat era was starting to break up, and a few of them switched teams. As we know, Luke Hodge, Sam Mitchell also did the same thing, and he did go over and play 55 games at Melbourne, and was a key part of them boosting up the ladder in 2018. Now, during his career, he was an All-Australian once in his career and was also a best and fairest winner at Hawthorn one time in his career. Next up at number 2 was another part of this crucial draft that actually took them to the 4 premierships, the Hawthorn Football Club, which was Jarryd Roughhead. Now, he actually was originally picked 2 in this draft and never left Hawthorn and played from 2005 to 2019, playing in 283 games and kicking 578 goals, which is ultra impressive, winning 4 premierships around that time. Obviously the one in 2008 and then the 3-peat from 13 to 15. Was actually the Coleman Medal winner in 2013, which is pretty crazy to think about, even though they were the best team in the competition. The fact that he was fighting for goals over Lance Franklin during that year, and he won his only Coleman Medal that year. He was also a two-time All-Australian from 13 to 14, and was also the Hawthorn captain from 17 to 18, to go along with a 3-time Hawthorn leading goal kicker, an absolute star. Next up, we have the only current player on this list, and the partner in crime for a bulk of his career with Jarryd Roughhead, which was Lance Franklin. Now, he was originally taking a pick 5, which is pretty crazy to think about. To turn out that he's probably one of the greatest AFL players of all time. He played from 2005 to 2013 for Hawthorn and played 182 games for 580 goals, which numbers are off the charts, before choosing to go up to Sydney on a big money deal, and is currently playing there now from 2014, where he kicked 367 goals for 119 games. Has played 301 games for 947 goals. I think at the time of filming this video, he just did play another game and kicked another 3 goals. So now he's actually at 950. Is 50 away from kicking 1,000, which is absolutely ridiculous. Now, during the time of his career, he was a 2-time premiership player, winning the premierships in 2008 and 2013. He's also an 8-time All-Australian, a 4-time Coleman medalist, to go along with a 1-time best and fairest winner, a 6-time leading goal kicker, a 5-time leading goal kicker at Sydney also, and also a 2-time goal of the year winner. An absolute superstar of the AFL, one of the greatest of all time, and all I have to say is Buddy Franklin, and you know who I'm talking about. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to drop a like and a subscribe, because we're on the road to 600 subscribers.